Hello and welcome back to All My Art and Soul. I'm Michelle Holden, and this is part 2 of Abstract Series Exploring Different Layers. But this time it is a live recording. While I'm creating and demonstrating, I am talking to you, of course, my microphone that is set up above me. And what you're looking at now is the 12, approximately 6 by 6 abstracts. And right now we are, or I am focusing on the early stages, the very first stage of applying enough collage, marks, paint to have a really nice, rich, lots of things to work with before I move on to my middle stage. So as you can see, it's starting to definitely, things are behind, there's more layers building up, and I tend to build these layers slowly. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this series. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out last week's video so you can see what happened, how they got to this stage. As you can see, I'm using turquoise, nickel azo gold, and here we go. If you're new and you haven't watched the previous 2 videos, I have been working with a series of 12, roughly about 6 by 6 or 6.5. I didn't really worry. I know that the watercolor paper all ended up, but you know, these are experiments, and I call them explorations. And if you haven't watched the video, I've been building up the layers, the history, the richness of these first layers in the first stage for the past couple of weeks, and I've been building them up slowly. The ones that you're seeing now that I'm passing over, oh, I just love the colors. Things are starting to happen, and there still hasn't been a plan until I start seeing things happen. So I've moved these ones to the side because I think they have enough of the, I call it a sage or turquoise, and marks, and that little bit more of collage for what I feel is right for my first stage of this particular series. And I'll just finish showing you. Here's this one. I'm loving this one. Some of them are finding their way early, and so I'm using them to guide my way in not overworking them as well. I want to just get that balance, but I also want to not think of these as final pieces or the end, the outcome, because I want to try a few things, a few next layers. My next layers are going to be a very thin staining, we call it, of different white or near the blue, and that might create a shape that I might go with. I'm also going to use my catalyst wedge with that, and also with black and with white. I might even go so far as also staining with quinacridone, nickel azo gold, and I might mix it with, I might use it right out of the bottle. It might be a little strong, but I'm going to thin it down with the gloss medium, which isn't heavy. This is the fluid. And of course I'm using my heavy gel for sticking my collage pieces on. So as I went through my pile, when I last left them, I knew there was a couple of pieces that just seemed a little empty, and I wanted to add a couple more pieces of collage. So what I tend to do is echo a particular shape, line, or pattern, and as a difference, I'll just put it in another direction. Remember this one from the previous videos. It was very open. And I've been eyeing this really random piece of newsprint paper that was just rolled or pressed on a palette. And I am going to put it right here. So what I'll do is I'll just talk you through this little part. Then I'll stop the video and just work as if I'm just working on my own in my studio here at my art journaling table or station. So I just like this echo, and of course that transparent deli paper that I've ordered from Amazon. You get 50 sheets. I remember from a video that I was watching that I really liked this piece, and I found that this one was a little empty. I was going to put the whole thing across, which is sort of interesting, but I wanted to save. So I think I'm going to go in this direction. It just felt better. My reasoning is probably the little bit of this Titan buff is carried through here, and I'm liking how it's moving the eye in this direction. So this is just going to be a nice little short video, and I'm going to take just a couple of these for this video with some staining, and it's just, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I said to myself, you know, I really need to start pushing myself and really exploring. And I don't know which way particular, I know this one feels right in this position. I love it this way, so I'm going to leave it that way. This one, as you can just, it seemed a little empty here. It needed something else. So I'm going to add the circle. I'm echoing that circle, spherical theme throughout this series. So that's a good thing. Using repetition on a work and repetition throughout each piece, but in a different way. Oh, see, I love that. That's really nice. I really like that. And I won't do that for too many pieces. As you can see, this one, I'm still thinking, yes, I'm going to go with it. Because I'm not liking all these hexagons here. The edges didn't turn out as crisp as I would like. And I wouldn't mind carrying a little more black and white, balancing out this. But notice this is black on white, this is white on black, and I love playing with opposites that way. So just making sure there's enough. As you can see, this is 140-pound Arches watercolor paper, and I can see that, you see how it's buckling? Let me just show you. You can see a space. And then there's a big bubble back here. I'm not going to worry about that. Of course, if it was a piece that I was concerned about, I would just slice that. Well, let's do that right now. Let's just do that right now. I can find my... Let's see what would happen. So let's slice that open. There. That'll probably... And then you can go underneath, because I put quite a few layers on here. I even forget what's under here. So what I'll probably do is really press that down. And after I'm finished working with it, whoops, I'll put a heavy book on it and flatten it. And I think it should be almost as good as new, but no, I'm really not worried about that right now. That definitely helped. It's not sticking yet. The more I bend it, So it's lifted up quite a bit. Okay, I might even need to bend that watercolor paper. Well, the bubble has definitely gone out. And I'm not going to worry about it. So we'll just put that back. And so these four I'll put to the side. And we're going to work, and I probably will use my Posca marker. And I might even put some numbers right here. I might do that now with my Posca marker. Let's see how that turns out. You see, you just never know what you're going to do. I had a totally different plan. I love this. Now I've not used, see now there's bubbling, so it's not going to be, so I'm going to really hold it down flat. So, didn't turn out so great. The 1, 2, 3 did. So what I'll do is I'll let that dry. I'll cover that with a similar value, or maybe lighter or slightly darker, but with I might even use something like that. And I might, see, now if I was going to do more black and white, you see how this would be. Maybe I want it that busy, because then I'm going to come in and make areas of quiet to contrast the busyness. So that's the difference that I'm thinking. So we'll just put that to the side. We'll let that dry. And let's get another 4. Aha. That was with the little spongy thing, the stamper, which is now dry. Oh no, it's not solid, but I'll put it in some water to soften it up, but I won't be able to use it right away. And now I'm going to, these have finished that stage. This thing is still bugging me. And it's funny how your preferences, I like, where's the rest of them? Holy jeez. Oh no, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's, certain ones I like with certain ones. It's a funny thing. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate what I mean by a stain. And these are very watery. So this is the manganese golden. I don't know, maybe it needs a little white. I don't think I want it so perfect. So, I mean, straight out of the tube. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I know, oh, yeah. So now I've got, ooh, that's very nice. Very nice. So that was a dab of nickel azo gold, manganese blue, and just adding a little opacity with the titanium white, Liquitex Basics. Now, I need to, I think I wanted just a little bit more blue. And I'm just going to, so I'm just now going to think shape. But as well as thinking about shape, see how it's creating these shapes now? And they're just happening on their own, basically. But what I'm thinking of is pushing this white back. So as I push that white back, this pops up. And I'm not liking the rounded corner. I want more of a sharper corner. I don't think I'll take all of this out, but I think I want to take some of it. And just, yeah. I really love how it looks like watercolor here. And I don't want to take all the orange away. Okay, now if I was to make a second one here with some of this, but now this is going to be a little more blue. Let's see what this does. And when you're not so sure, which I'm not, you can start very subtly. And of course you don't like it, you can rub it off, but you know it's going to stain some of it. You won't be able to rub the whole thing off unless you put unless I put a really good coat of the high gloss medium. Now I notice this is pretty much the same, so I'm going to come in and maybe make this stand out a bit. I'm sort of going to go around just part of these. Here comes my dog. My dog's name is Dexter. Sometimes he likes to come into the studio and sometimes he doesn't. Okay, I'm thinking some more saturation will look good here. And I'm not liking that, so I'm going to come right over them. Ooh, push them back a bit. There. Okay. And this is still, you know, you plan it. I'm liking that. I'm wondering if we could separate. Sort of continue with the stripey idea, but just... I know it doesn't look like much, but there are subtle changes. This is just for the blue, so I think if I use the nickel azo as a stain, it would really, really make a difference. So I'm going to do that in a moment. I think right there would have been cool. Okay, let's do this one. So down here, definitely, I think I want it in here. So as you can see, it's carrying on this, taking this blue that's behind this paper and just making it more noticeable with the contrast of the orange and blue. That's what I'm thinking. Let's add some more saturation. Thinking I'm liking that a little more. Okay. These are just very subtle changes, probably because I've not really worked with the staining yet. So until I get more experiences, and you as well, then you just get more of a, you just sort of know what's going to happen. You can predict more. But I really love, now last time I liked how it was light, but this time I'm going to switch it to the darker values. So you're playing with the values. So there's more contrast here. Maybe that'll help bring the eye down. So now I think, let's see what a nickel azo gold stain mostly would look like. Ooh, I'm thinking. And then of course you can dab that off. So I like how this is a similar value with the white. So I'm just going to stop here and just see if we can get some kind of a cool shape going on. So there's many things we're thinking about. The shapes, pushing layers back. I guess I'm mostly pushing white back and then extending any and playing with some saturations. So let's see. I don't know if that's a good idea. I know I did the blue there earlier. That's not much of a change. That's sort of cool. So that warmed that up. There's just subtle changes going on. I know where I want to put this one, and I want to extend this, and I want to make it stronger. There. So that swoosh is a little more apparent. I might even bring the eye up here. Okay. Let's add some nickel azo to some of these. Okay. In here. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put those to the side. It doesn't look like much, but I might come in and add some more. Now I'm going to work with some black. With my next set. So I'm really liking this shape, and I'm loving this shape, so I might extend it or change it. But right now I'm going to work with black and just see what happens. Okay. So I don't want to overwork that, but I want to that's too, the eye, the contrast is too high for that area. Now watch when I wipe it off what happens. let's add a little water to the black and come in. So that's bringing up a lot of the texture of the turquoise. And what I'm going to do now is this. I don't even know what was going to happen. Something told me just turn it. And if I don't like it so, oh, see, there we go. If I don't like it so much on the end, I'm just going to do this. Now, of course, my edges, which aren't taped anymore, but I said, oh, see, there we go. Now we're messy. Okay. This one could use a little more dark. I think right here. Now I'm choosing just to use a brush. You could use collage, but I just wanted to put some stains on here. And I think I want to stop right at this line. See how it stains no matter what you do. So I'm going to just lift that a bit. Ooh, I like that. So it's picked up some texture of the paper towel, and I'm liking that. Okay. Oh. So adding some more darks in certain areas, and this is a very watery layer. And I don't mind overlapping, and I probably should be using my other brush. So I'm just trying to extend the eye. That's a little too opaque, so I'm going to come in again with my paper towel and lift it. It's better. Messing up the frame, but I don't really care. I'm not sure about this. And notice this nickel azo is really, really strong, and I'm really liking that. But I might want to just leave that as the hero color here. I'm going to come in and just fix that. And later on, I'll probably extend this turquoise with some collage across, because I thought if I extended it, it might make the shape interesting, but no, it's getting the eye caught up. There's a juxtaposition here. The contrast, the eye is staying there. The tension is right there, and it's in the middle. So I really don't want that. So let's shift this around. And then I'm playing with bringing previous lines underneath, back on top, just for some interest. So you have over, under, and it plays with the layers a bit more. So that's, so what I'll do is I'll just let those dry. And now I think I'm finished my early stage with this series. And then I'm going to come in with quieting down different areas and creating some shapes. I might even add some more collage to just certain ochre, or the yellow ochre, just a subtle change, and just see what happens. And so that's this week's using some staining with very transparent manganese, Nicolazo gold, some black, and making sure your layers, you have enough for your early stages, so your early stage is rich enough for your next middle stage.